Hey guys, I'm currently at McGill University campus, arguably the best university in Canada. And since I'm already here, naturally I want to talk about this topic, the importance of taking advantage of your first 3 to 6 months after moving overseas. The first 3 to 6 months are actually the most important period of time for you to take advantage of to master your English communication skills, your social skills in the new country. Is a great opportunity for you to build this massive momentum that can carry you through for the next several years of living overseas. And the reason is, it's kind of similar to working out at the gym. You know, if you never worked out before, if you're just like a newbie to lifting weights, you typically have this newbie gain phase. Means that you're probably going to grow muscles faster than some experienced lifters, right? Because you've never done this before. Nature kind of rewards you with more kind of the bonus muscles, okay? And exactly same in English speaking, in sort of any habit you're trying to build once you're in a new environment, right? Because typically any environment is associated with some behavioral patterns, a set of behaviors, and an identity as well. For example, like back home, back in your hometown, you are probably a student there, you went to school, right? You went back home before 6 p.m. to have dinner. You kind of just following everything school, parents, society tell you to do. And your identity was basically this person, Chinese student, who 听话, who listens to their parents. But now you are at a new country, United States, Canada, Australia, anywhere in the world, or a new city. You don't necessarily have to move to a new country to have this effect, okay? And essentially your brain is a little bit of confused. Your brain is experiencing some shock waves, right? Like, what's going on? It's a new environment. Your brain kind of doesn't know how to behave anymore. And now, when your brain is kind of tipsy, you want to sober it up with some new behaviors you have never done before, okay? For example, you just moved here, right? In Canada, in the United States, you want to start speaking English as much as you can. Maybe you never spoke English ever back in your country, but now you're doing this, right? You are consuming all your information through English, your entertainment, your news, your social media platforms, and you only use English to make friends, to build relationships, to receive your education. And that's kind of a shock to the system, a shock to your brain. Gradually, you're creating this new identity that's associated with these behaviors as well. You become someone who speaks English, who are an English speaker. You're no longer someone who just prepares for a language test, for IELTS or TOEFL. But a lot of Chinese-speaking international students are doing the complete opposite. They're trying to feel safe first. They want to have a sense of stability and comfort before they step up and speak English. For example, when they just arrive and they feel like, okay, you know what, I want to make some Chinese friends first to feel like I have a community, to not feel lonely, okay? They're still holding on to that old identity, that old version, okay, the Chinese-speaking version. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with using Chinese, Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I would never say, oh, don't speak Chinese forever. Don't speak your native tongue just because you want to practice your English. No, that's not what I mean. And a good way to understand is through this analogy. I like this analogy a lot. If you are a swimmer trying to compete in a swimming competition or like Olympic game, right? You need to swim. You need to practice. You can say, oh, I want to run as well. I want to do some other exercise, but now you're prepping for swimming. Okay, so you swim. You can run later if you want. You can do other exercise if you want, but now you swim. You can speak Chinese for the rest of your life, but since right now you're determined to master your English communication skills and you're here in an English-speaking country, now we speak English, at least for the first 3 to 6 months, the first year, or the first few years, depending on how big your appetite is, depending on how far you want to push this. Okay, there's technically no limit. Back to what I was talking about, a lot of those Chinese speaking international students, they just stay in their comfort zone, okay? The longer they stay in their comfort zone, the harder it is for them to get out of it because they already start associating this new environment to the same old behaviors. Okay, basically they're wasting the new environment. They're wasting this golden opportunity to reinvent themselves. Okay, what a waste. Because once you establish that neurological or psychological connection between the environment and your behaviors, it's going to be very hard, extremely hard to change. Okay, so you want to take advantage of it while it's still fresh, while it's still here, while you're new here. I still remember when I first moved to Canada, I was immersing myself with this 100% English environment. I only allow myself to use English to understand this new world, to receive any sort of information like news, entertainment, education. I was obsessed with watching YouTube videos. I was crazy about it. Binge watching it all day. I was watching Netflix. I would go to English Corner. I'll try to speak with other international students or other immigrants. And it's actually a cheat code to start communicating with other international people first instead of native speakers, because frankly, it could be pretty challenging for newcomers, for FOPs, to build relationships with native speakers, because oftentimes native speakers lack patience, because as soon as they feel like you're not 100% linguistically capable, they don't want to waste their time. It's not their obligation and responsibility to help you out improve your English, okay? But on the other hand, other international students or immigrants are much more patient because they're essentially on the same boat. Yeah, maybe their English is better than yours, but they're still an outsider in a way, right? They're still a newcomer. They're probably experiencing similar challenges and struggles, so they'll be much more patient with you. I remember back when I was in my first year of university, I was hanging out with a lot of, let's say, Indian students, European students, Southeast Asian students, Brazilian students, and that really helped me with my confidence speaking English. I was just getting so comfortable. And then I slowly leveled up to the following levels, where I became much more comfortable speaking to native speakers. And now the majority of my close connections are native English speakers. Okay, so recap. First, 3 to 6 months, important, very important. Don't waste it, don't squander it. Second, you want to create this 100% English environment as much as you can. Okay, consume all information in English, news, entertainment, education. Third, making friends in English, creating connections in English. Starting out with communicating with other international students, other international immigrants, to get more comfortable with speaking English, to get the reps in, to get the volume in. Then you gradually level up and get to a level where you feel more comfortable speaking to native English speakers. But the key is taking action now, today.